by Arvind Chandrasekhar. It's early morning again. I can hear the birds chirping outside. My eyes are closed, but I can hear the wall clock ticking, which reminds me of a dripping faucet. I don't like the sound. It reminds me of my mom's head dripping blood, flooding the floor and spoiling the carpet. I like everything neat and clean. My name is Amul. Mum told me that Dad loved the utterly butterly delicious Amul girl. That's why he named me Amul. I study in class 5. I like my school. My favorite subject is mathematics. I don't understand why people don't like maths. I love my maths teacher, Miss Kakkar. She's supposed to be a doctor or something, not the kinds who use stethoscopes. She's pretty and funny. She reminds of my mother. I like Miss Kakkar because she thinks I'm smart, and I like it when she kisses me on my cheek, especially when I solve some of the problems she gives only to me. She always gives me problems to solve. All her questions to me are named after old men who thought of all these problems and they died trying to solve them, which I find really funny. Today, she gave me some old man's problem called the Pythagoras theorem. My mother died when I was 5 years old. My dad hit her when he was drunk and she fell and died. My dad did not tell me anything, and I understood that I was supposed to act like Gandhi's monkeys. Old people are funny, and they always seem to cry whenever they come on TV. Everybody cried at the hospital that day when my mother died, even my father. After I come back from school, I play till my father comes back home. Then we sit in front of the TV. After Dad makes dinner, it's his turn to watch TV, and he asks me to go to my room. On some days, Dad watches something on the television, which is like the video Anita's mum watches. I try to sneak a peek, but I can't really see anything except for the blue light. When I am in my room, I try and solve the problems which Miss Kakkar gives me. They are usually very simple. I rewrite everything because Miss Kakkar can't understand my handwriting. And then I go to sleep, hoping that those darned birds don't wake me up again. Anita told me that she heard her mum tell her dad that my dad goes to see mum sometimes. Anita is such a stupid girl. Nobody can meet dead people. But if Dad could go see Mum, then I would also like to go. Mum always smelled nice. She smelled like the food she cooked and the clothes she made me wear. And she always sang songs when Dad left for office and a friend John came home. The songs always went up and then down and then up again. After Mum would give me breakfast, she would send me to Anita's house to play and then call me back when John left and lunch was ready. John doesn't come home anymore. After Mum died and everybody came home dressed in white, Dad tried to explain things to me. He told me that Mum won't be coming back from the hospital, that he was sorry and felt helpless when he looked at me, that he did not know what to do with me. Miss Kakkar was the one who told me why Mum won't come back and what happens when people die. Miss Kakkar told me that death is like dividing anything by zero. It results in infinity. Even if you wish to see it or feel it, you can't, but you can think about it. Mum had become infinity. That's what Miss Kakkar said, and she never lies. I can tell when people are lying. I knew Mum was lying whenever she kissed Dad goodbye and said I love you when he went to office, and I knew she wasn't lying when she kissed me goodbye and said I love you when I went to school. Anita's mum is nice. Some days when Dad gets late, he asks Lata auntie, Anita's mum, to give me dinner. After dinner, she plaits Anita's hair and mine, then she tells us a nice story. Sometimes it is about handsome young princes and sometimes it is about pretty little princesses. And then, later in the night, when Dad comes back, he picks me up and puts me in my own bed. I don't like waking up anywhere else other than my bed, which is why Dad doesn't allow me to go and live with Grandma. I think On some days, after I pretend to go to sleep, Dad comes and sits next to me and whispers. One night when I secretly opened my eyes, I saw him crying like Mum. I had never seen a man cry before. Mum always told me that I should never reveal secrets, that I should be brave and never cry over things. Maybe Dad is not brave. Dad and I don't say much to each other. He makes me breakfast and sometimes dinner. He doesn't ask me how the food tasted, like Lata auntie does, and I don't tell him that sometimes he puts too much salt or sometimes no salt at all. I don't tell him because he doesn't ask me. I remember that both Mum and Dad used to fight whenever he used to say something about the salt to Mum. Then Dad would hit Mum and she would run and come into my room and lock it from inside. She always used to tell me that this was how adults played. Adults can be very confusing sometimes. Cats are as confusing as adults. Sometimes they let you stroke them and sometimes they scratch you. One day, when that old lady's cat scratched Anita when she and I went to play with it, I kicked it hard. We both ran away from there and hid behind the bushes because we heard the old lady come out when she heard the cat scream. Anita said that she won't say anything to anybody if I don't say anything to anybody. And I simply nodded, though I don't know why she made me promise something like that. A lot of people tell me their secrets, maybe because I don't talk much. The cable repairman who came home the other day told me that he missed my mom, that he liked her and she was the best he ever had. He also said that I should not say this to anybody. In return, he gave me some of the soldering wire. I did not understand what he was talking about, but I didn't care. I was thinking of what I could do with this wire. Since I'm not allowed to play with the tools that Dad has in the garage, I decided to put the wire in my special box underneath the bed. The box has all sorts of things, such as Raju's jawbone, which I found when I was digging in Anita's garden. When I showed it to Lata auntie and asked her what it was, she asked me where I found it and then threw it in the trash, while telling me that I was not to tell Anita that I found something of Raju's. After Lata auntie left, I picked up the bone and put it inside my pocket. I washed it after I went home. It had teeth, so I brushed it after I brushed my teeth. The teeth was very sharp, but some of them were broken. Then there is the broken edge of the table on which Mum hit her head. It still has some specks of her blood on it. I did not wash it because if I did so, the blood will go. Then there is a slightly burned picture of me as a baby with Mum holding me. Mum looks really very pretty in that. She is wearing her favorite pink robe. Her hair is loose and she is wearing those nice bunny flip-flops. It is my favorite thing of everything inside the box. I took the picture when I was helping Dad burn all of Mum's things when he was not looking. These are the only two mementos I have of Mum. Dad burnt everything else. His eyes were watering as he did so, and my eyes were itching because of all that smoke. I don't think Dad's eyes were watering for the same reason. I don't like it when people shout at me or at other people. I don't like changes. I don't take too kindly to them. But according to Miss Kakkar, change is the only constant. It makes sense, especially when things are non-linear, such as people or events, which don't make sense and have to be balanced by an ever-changing variable. If you are not open to accepting the presence of this variable, then things get very puzzling. But that still doesn't mean that I like change. Sometimes, Dad wakes up in the middle of the night to come and check on me. I pretend to be asleep. I haven't been able to sleep ever since Mum died. Dad took me to the doctor to get me checked and find out why I am unable to sleep. The doctor took a lot of tests. He took my blood test, urine test, and even took a sample of my poo-poo. It was difficult to pee inside a small cup, when you have such a big commode behind it. And then he sent me home with Dad. I don't think he found out why I couldn't sleep because he told my dad to keep bringing me every fortnight for checkups, and he gave a long list of pills for me to take. I'm supposed to take them before breakfast, after breakfast, before dinner, and after dinner. Sometimes, if dad is in a good mood, he makes silly jokes about these pills and how costly they are. Then he calls out my mom's name as if she was in the kitchen, and then he becomes awfully quiet. He smiles at me, gives me dinner, pours himself his drink, and we sit and watch TV in silence. I like it when it's quiet with just the voices coming from the television. Dad smiles from time to time. He looks nice when he smiles. His eyes become small and racetracks come out from the corners of his eyes. When I was very little, he used to carry me around and keep smiling. I used to trace the racetracks around his eyes till I almost poked him in the eye. He would close his eyes and laugh. I think these birds are laughing at me. I remember a story Lata auntie told me once about birds who used to come and chirp outside an old king's window before he died. I remember Mom was singing along with the birds that morning when she woke me up, the day she died. But the birds have sat and chirped all morning for the last couple of days and nobody has died. But they did chirp on the day when Mom died. I heard them and I heard Mum singing along with them as she gave me milk in my baby bottle. If I sit next to the window and shoo the birds away, maybe they will leave. I better lie down again. My head hurts if I sit up. I knew the shrill chirping of birds would give me a headache. I better not tell Dad about it. Otherwise, he will take me to see the doctor, who will then do that thing with my blood, which he does every time I go there. All I have to do is just lie there while tubes go in and out of my body with something red in them. I am assuming it is my blood. Considering that a normal human body has about 6 liters of blood, the amount flowing in and out doesn't look like it's that much. I miss Raju. He was there. If he was there, then he would have barked these damn birds away. He always understood what I was thinking. He sometimes even let me ride on his back when I was little. I would pull his ears and he would nuzzle his nose against my neck, telling me to stop. His pink tongue was always hanging out as if he just finished running a marathon race. Anita misses Raju more than I do. Sometimes when she falls asleep while Lata auntie is telling a story, she mumbles Raju's name. You could always tell where Raju has been by the trail of the hair he left behind. His hair was soft and nice, like Anita's, but it was golden in color and Anita's hair is black. But they were soft, shiny and nice. I started losing my hair after the first couple of visits to the doctor, which is one reason why I don't like it when Dad takes me there. And the whole hospital smells so weird. It smells like that when Dad cleans my bathroom with that orange liquid. Dad is usually more quiet than usual when we return from the hospital. He doesn't even play the car radio then. Otherwise, he switches it on to replace the silence with sound. I look outside the window and sometimes I see his face reflected in the mirror. I can see and feel him staring at me. Then he looks straight ahead and from time to time he wipes his eyes. I wonder what Dad thinks about when he is waiting for the doctor in the waiting room. I know this because I keep thinking of something or the other. Of late, Dad comes home earlier than usual. I wonder if something is wrong with him. Usually he comes to Anita's place to pick me up well after Mr. Sharma has had his dinner. But nowadays he comes home from much before Mr. Sharma comes back from office. A few days back he was late. I heard him tell Lata auntie that he had gone to collect some reports. The birds have finally stopped chirping. About time as well, if I can say so. I am feeling sleepy. This is the first time that I have felt sleepy in a long time. I think I will finally get some sleep before Dad comes and wakes me up again. I actually feel the sleep coming over my Raju, Pythagoras, Mum.